Hi, in this case study we're going to look at a distributor of passive electrical OEM, original equipment manufacturing components. So they're delivering stuff that actually gets built into the whole good that the manufacturer customer is shipping out. And this case study started by first of all looking at the biggest losing suppliers that this particular distributor had in their Waypoint universe. And usually the biggest losing suppliers are manufacturers of bits and pieces and parts, things that can be, again, very high margin. The turns can be fantastic, but if you got 50 cents of margin and a line item pick and you've got $8 of cost of picking it in the warehouse or something like that, you're going to lose all the time. In this case, their single largest, biggest losing manufacturer supplier had $400,000 in sales at a 42% margin with high turns. And of course, the distributor was shocked to say that they were losing $40,000 on the line because they look at this high margin percent and the high turner, and everybody knows for a million years that this is automatic bank money when of course it's not. It's a financial fiction. Now, how did this happen? Well, this manufacturer was making the equivalent of paper clips. You know, these technologically proprietary, patented kind of electrical property fasteners, if you will, just plastic things. And they had plenty of OEM customers who were on to just-in-time delivery twice a week, because everybody's doing this in the manufacturing community. And so the distributor would deliver kits, maybe 35 items to one given manufacturing cell that might include 30 items that were appropriate for just-in-time, big dollar per line item, and then the equivalent of 5 different kinds of paper clips. And when they then the distributor checked on the invoice ranking report, went to the bottom of the report and found all these $120 loss invoices. They found plenty of emergency rush orders for just one paperclip or 2 paper clips. So when you see those and you think, well, for lack of a paperclip, somebody in the cell can't do their job, what's the cost of downtime for that in the factory? Not to mention 100 picks a year is killing the distributor, but that means 100 times a year somebody has to order those items or has to receive them and put them temporarily away before they pick them back and so forth. So there's housekeeping activity costs, if you will, inside the customer's place. So the solution was to go to these customers and say, look, what if we shot for every line item pick to be a magnitude of $25 or more? When it's lots of littles, we'll round it off to how they come packed, if they come packed 4 or 6 or 12 or 18 per pack kind of thing, if that's a possibility. And hypothetically, instead of picking $1 100 times a year, we might pick 4 picks at $25. Now, sure, we're loading you up with $25 of inventory, not quite on an average basis for the whole years, but we're loading you up a little more inventory. But then do the math on the rush orders for the downtime costs. And now, in this environment, there is no place to put this many more paper clips. So they had to co-create and at hand, at the cell location level, some sort of little plastic storage bin system for these 5 paper clips. Well, when the customer looks at the total math of this, and it's their money, and it's their downtime, and it's their activity costs, they go, oh my gosh, could you do this for all of our cells? And so they systematically went through the plant, figured out what else they could sell this customer on bits and pieces in these forward cell, forward store, custom little bin systems. And as a result of it, the losing supplier pair that did 400,000, their sales jumped year over year to maybe 500,000. Margin stayed the same, but instead of losing 40, they made maybe 40 or 50,000. So they turned the supplier around by how they sold the stuff, and they picked up more volume. They did not pick up more volume for the supplier because they did the supplier's product promotion, spiff, load them up, whatever programs, product-centric push stuff. The win came by getting bigger share of the right customers. And so it was a customer-centric solution, not a product push solution, that won more volume for this particular supplier. Now, when you take 25 of these big just-in-time customers, and they all had the same structural problem, and you turn that around and solve it, The monthly subscription fee that this distributor is paying for their line item profit analytics service, they recoup that more than five-fold just in this one application. Now, they have plenty of other supply chain applications that they can do with this kind of environment, um, but that was an instant, wow, we love this way of looking at our world and running our business differently. So the morals of the story are very popular small items. You cannot mark them up enough. I'm not saying don't raise their prices 10% or sneak up that margin percent when you can. It's not an either or thing. It's an and both. I'm all for pricing, raising, sneaking it up in efficiencies, but there's just no way that it's going to offset the cost to serve of picking these items in a typical warehouse process cost environment. In other words, we don't want to sell one AA battery or one pinch of salt at a time. We want to sell them a salt shaker. So we want to channel both Hillman Group, which we'll look at later on in one of these case studies, and Lawson Products, which we've already talked about, as far as how we carve out these custom spice racks within our large customers that are buying highly popular, highly small items. Thank you.